as you can see on the screen, today we are working with functions in C, which is used for doing a particular task for us or a specific task for us. That means we are going to make a function like printf, scanf, main. They are the functions which are inbuilt in the memory. Now we are making the function which is defined and declared and maintained by the user. That means which is not there in the library of C programming, that is not there, like printf, scanf, main is there, but we want to make our own names function. That means user defined functions. So you have to always remember they are called as UDF, and the functions which are there in the system, and they are called as SDF. It can be asked in an interview, what is UDF? UDF means user defined functions. You can write it like user defined functions, and SDF means system defined functions. So these are the things which you have to always remember. So here we are going to work with the user defined functions. That means a function will be, we can call it and we can make it, and we have to make the definition part of it also. So we'll just go with the practicals, no more theory. So what we will do, we will make a function. For example, the function name is anything. For example, display is a function name. So how we have to declare while calling? So we put a parenthesis like this with the function. So we say this is a function which is declared inside the main. Now if I just try to run the code, and if I just say okay, run the code, so what exactly it will give? It will give you an error that display is not defined, because display is not a function which is there inside the memory of your C programming or C compiler. So it will say that undefined display because you have not defined it and all. So it is giving you that error. So what does mean? That means we had just call it, we just call it, but we have not defined it. Earlier when we were working with printf or scanf, the functions are already written in stdio.h. That means their definition part is already there. Display has no definition. So we need to declare and define our definition part at the outside the main, but below stdio.h. So how we are going to declare? As display is a function itself, so we need to have a format exactly same like it was in the void main, so that there should be a return type, that means void, because we are not returning this time anything. So we say void. You have to remember this thing. Whenever we don't want any return statement, we will see in the lecture that what is return statement. So we just put void, means nothing to return, and then we give exactly the same name. You can't put D capital here. If I put D capital here, then it will not recognize the exact match. So we need to give the same name which is there in the calling part. So we just have to take the headline like this, void, and just exactly the same thing which you have written here, not with the semicolon, because here we are going to define, we are going to put the statements what exactly we want to go with. That means what specific task we want to go with. So what we want to do with this function. So I just want that it should display a message. So display message means that means the function will be inbuilt, that is printf. Everything which you have to do inside the function will be with the help of the inbuilt functions, but you can declare it with the define it with the help of your user defined function. So I say hello, how are you, or anything, whatever you want. At the end you need to put a semicolon. Now what happens exactly? This is calling, and this is called as, basically we can call it here function body. This is the function body which I have written enclosed with your opening and closing braces, Now what exactly compiler do? Compiler go to the line number 10 first, not here. Compiler go to the line number 10, then the 11, then the 12. Here the calling is there. So when I say call it, so it will jump from line number 12 to line number 5 and then execute this. Now if I just try to run the code and I see whether it is giving you the exact thing or not. So if I just try to run the code and I get the exactly hello, how are you. If you really want to see how exactly it is working, so what you will do, you just put one more line here, the inbuilt function printf, and say bye. So what exactly function is doing, again I am saying, compiler will point to this line number 12, call display, then go to the display function here, print this and return back. So you have to remember always, function is always and always returning back to the called function. So this function is calling and this function is called. So this is the main programming. Every time whenever the function is finished with its work, it will whenever it interrupt with the closing sign, it will return back to there, and again it will continue with the rest of the functions. Now my function is printf, that means it has to display. So if I just try to run the code, it will display hello how are you first and then bye. So I have not put any slash in here, that's the reason it is displaying it in a same line. So if I just try to run the code, this thing you have to always and always remember, functions are used for doing a specific task, like remote controls of your there are the remote control for your electronic gadgets. Then there is a volume button, there is a temperature button, there is a channel button, there is every button for everything. If you go for any remote control, so remote control is there, remotes are there for doing the particular task. So every button is doing a particular task for us. In the programs also, if we want to divide our big project in small programs, so we can make the functions, with the help of functions we can divide our program in a very good manner, so that debugging is very easy, so that we need not to go through the whole program one by one. We just have to consider one function, then another function, and then we can divide it. We can have a modular approach for it. So this is the basic, the raw idea about your functions. Why functions are there? Functions are used for best utilization of memory. Why? Because if I write each and everything inside the main, then every time whenever compiler will run the program, so traffic will be on in the RAM, all the lines will be on in the RAM, and once the traffic will be not manageable. But if I'm using this display here, and it is my choice if I want to call it or not. If I just try to run the code, and if I just go with the printf statement, it will just print that statement only. So that is now my choice. That means whenever I am calling it, then and then this will execute. That means my memory management is now in a optimized way, because if this function is containing 50 lines, these 50 lines will execute whenever I am calling this function, otherwise they will not execute. See, I'll show you. I just put it like this, and if I just try to run the code, even the function body is there, but it is not giving you any error of that, because this is outside main. So that means it will not be in the temporary memory now. Okay, so functions are used for modular approach. Functions are used for dividing a big project in a small module, so that debugging, that means tracing the error, is very easy for us. So hope the idea of functions is clear to you. So this function is user defined function. In every user defined function must have one calling thing, and must have a definition part, and the both things are designed and created by the user. So that's why we say it's a user defined functions. And inbuilt function means they are the functions which are just called by, we are just calling them, that's it. We are not making them. Everything which is written for them is written in their header files. This thing you have to always and always remember. Hope functions are clear now. And if you really like this content, put a thumbs up, subscribe the channel, share my videos or channel to your friends, so that they can have idea about the programming. So I meet you in the next chapter of programming. Till then, take care. Bye bye.